Hello. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of psychology to discover incredible facts about how our minds work. Get ready for a journey into the depths of human consciousness. First fact, the spotlight effect. Did you know that people overestimate how much attention others pay to them? This is called the spotlight effect. When you think everyone notices your flaws or embarrassing moments, people actually pay much less attention to you than you imagine. Research shows we overestimate attention to ourselves by almost double. So don't worry so much about what others think. They're busy with their own affairs. Second fact, the paradox of choice. More options don't always mean more happiness. Psychologist Barry Schwartz proved that when we have too many choices, we experience stress and often remain dissatisfied with our decision. This explains why in a store with a huge selection of jam, people buy less frequently than in a store with limited choices. Our brains simply cannot efficiently process too many options simultaneously. Third fact, the anchoring effect. The first information we receive strongly influences all subsequent decisions. If before buying a car you saw a very expensive model, you'll perceive even a moderately priced car as a good deal. Salespeople actively use this psychological trick by first showing the most expensive items. Fourth fact, the Dunning-Kruger effect. People with low competence in a particular area often overestimate their knowledge and skills. Meanwhile, true experts tend to underestimate their competence. This explains why the loudest critics often turn out to be the least knowledgeable about the subject of discussion. Fifth fact, the rule of 7 plus or minus 2. Our short-term memory can only hold 5 to 9 pieces of information simultaneously. This is why phone numbers typically consist of 7 digits, and why lists with 5 to 7 items are best remembered. When there's more information, the brain begins to group it or forget some details. Sixth fact, the bystander effect. The more people who witness an emergency situation, the less likely someone is to help. Each person thinks someone else will help. This phenomenon is known as diffusion of responsibility. In large cities, this effect is particularly noticeable, so it's important to remember. If you see someone needs help, don't wait for others. Seventh fact, the mere exposure effect. We like things more that we see more frequently. Even if we initially disliked something, repeated contact can change our attitude for the better. This explains why advertising works even when it annoys us, and why people often fall in love with colleagues or classmates. Eighth fact, confirmation bias. We tend to search for and interpret information in ways that confirm our existing beliefs. In the age of social media, this is particularly dangerous because algorithms show us what we want to see, creating information bubbles. Ninth fact, the illusion of transparency. We think our emotions and thoughts are more obvious to others than they actually are. When you're nervous before a presentation, it seems like everyone can see it, but actually your anxiety isn't as noticeable to others as you think. 10th fact, hedonic adaptation. Regardless of how positive or negative events occur in our lives, we usually return to our baseline level of happiness. This means that winning the lottery won't make you happier forever, just as failures won't make you unhappy forever. Conclusion: understanding these psychological phenomena can help us better understand ourselves and others, make more informed decisions, and build healthier relationships. Remember, our brain is an amazing but not perfect tool, and knowledge about its features makes us wiser. Thank you for your attention. I hope these facts were interesting and useful for you.